So working across both state lines, we're just trying to do what we can for our citizens, try to do what we can to contain the COVID-19 virus, to protect our citizens, let everyone aware of what's going on in the community, and then also to make sure, and people are doing this, being responsible citizens when they're seeking health care. To make sure there's all kind of lines we can call the Texas Department of Health, the Arkansas Department of Health, the CDC. We can go to their websites. Also, there's a telephone number up here at the Emergency Operations Center that our patients and our family members and our community that can call and go through the questionnaire to see if you need to be tested or need to be seen.
Okay, that's one thing I was going to ask. What if somebody's at home, they're feeling ill, or their wife or their children, they don't know whether it's the flu or...
Absolutely.
What would be the procedure? If I'm sick, what do I need to do?
So first, if you're not sick and you think you may have been exposed, so what we're calling asymptomatic, we would recommend that you call the hotline, and at the end of the hotline, what the Texas Department or the Arkansas Department of Health is going to recommend that you stay at home, self-quarantine for 14 days if you feel like you've been exposed but you're not having any symptoms. If you are having symptoms and it's controlled with over-the-counter medicines, such as fever controlled with Tylenol, cough controlled with cough suppressant, and you're not short of breath, then we recommend it as well. Call the CDC or the Texas Department of Health, Arkansas Department of Health hotline, and they will recommend, again, probably to stay at home, self-quarantine, as long as you can control your symptoms. It's when we cannot control our symptoms, when the fever is not breaking with Tylenol, when the cough is not breaking with normal cough suppressants, when shortness of breath occurs at rest or with light exertion, that's when we need to seek medical help. But what we're asking and what citizens are doing are being very, very responsible in the fact that they are calling that hotline, and most importantly, they're calling ahead. They're letting 911 know that they're possibly exposed or possibly could be a patient, because we've got to protect our caregivers. And then also, they're being protective of our emergency departments, because we've got to maintain our openness and readiness for everyday emergencies. Heart attacks are still occurring, motor vehicle accidents are still occurring, and other traumas that we have to be open for. So we've got to get the word out when to go, and this is a perfect opportunity to do that.
Tests. Who gets tested? When should they get tested? Where does it go?
That's a great question. So if you look at the national news, it will look like there are ability to test all over. Well, here in Texarkana, USA, it is still very, very difficult to get a test. And we at the emergency departments are going through the Texas Department of Health or the Arkansas Department of Health and following their guidelines. So they also give us the guidelines. We're not taking a test without their authority, because a case number is given to that test that we send off. It's taken about 2 to 6 days, depending on the daytime, to get those tests back. A few private labs are doing tests, and you may not have to go through the TDH or Arkansas Department of Health hotline. However, those will still be reported by the Department of Health, and those take just as long.
Okay. Does it cost anything to have a test?
Well, so yes, it will cost to have the test, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it is still flu season,
Yeah.
and it is still strep season, strep throat. So we want everyone to be cautious, and just remember, when you feel it's time, call ahead before you go to make sure that you tell the caregivers that you possibly could be a patient that's been exposed to the COVID-19, so we can keep taking care of our community long past that patient.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
Don't think so?
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dr.
you.
Appreciate you so much.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if we can get Mayor Berkeley to the Texas side. Come on over here. Mayor Bob.
Yes.
Can we get you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're doing a video here that we're going to play back. We got Mayor Bob Brookman of the.
Maybe not from the Arkansas.
Yeah, that's not appropriate. Let's come over here. We should have stayed over there where Texas was.
See if we turn
All
away.
right.
Not that's not working.
Oh, well. We got Mayor Bob Brookman of the Texas side, Texarkana, Texas, and of course, you signed a declaration today. What was in that? Tell them what.
The declaration basically sets forth the moving along of our emergency management operation here at we're officing here at the COG. It also provides items that our citizens are wanting information about. For example, not having more than 50 people gathering in a particular group, whether it's a civic club, whether it's a church organization, restaurants, for example, or businesses. And this is something that will be monitored, or, we don't want to be hard-nosed about it. We're just trying to follow the CDC guidelines based on distance and based on assembly of people. I want to say that our community has been very proactive in taking the initiative to cancel various events. I'm in a local civic club. We've canceled our club meetings for the next several weeks. And so a lot of our churches have been proactive, and they, especially the ones who have the capability to live stream their services. And so because the more people you get together, especially if we have our older population involved, the more vulnerable people are as a whole. So this is taking place. We do have a voluntary curfew. We currently have a curfew ordinance, which goes to 11 p.m. during the week and then 12 p.m. on the weekends. We've shortened that from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Now that's for under 18 years old.
Under 18 years of age, right? We're asking those who are under 18, stay with your families, stay at home. But if your family wants to go out and have dinner or something like that, then as long as they're accompanying their family, or if they're traveling to work, maybe they have a job that they go to work at 9 p.m. at night. So that's certainly an exception. Or if they're responding to some kind of emergency, then that's an exception too. Once again, that's voluntary. That's something that is going to be monitored. And so if it's abused or we begin to having some issues, then we can certainly take further action at that time. But I certainly hope that doesn't take place, and hopefully doesn't. I don't anticipate that happening.
All right. City Hall is open.
Yeah, City Hall is open. We do have some limitations as far as walk-in traffic and that sort of thing. A lot of things can be done online. So what I would recommend is if a citizen is needing to conduct business at the city, to call the city main number, which is 903-798-3900, and just ask the representative what they need to do with the city as far as taking care of business, and then they'll provide instructions about the best way to go about doing that.
Right. Obviously, this is fluid. It changes. It could change some more depending on whether we have any more cases. Other than that,
that's right. Right. If we continue to develop additional cases, then we'll evaluate the situation and then make appropriate adjustments at that time. So these are some parameters that we put in place as of today.
Anything else you want to add?
Just want to, overall our citizens have been great to be proactive in canceling events, that they're associated with, and whether it's for entertainment or civic or church, and I want to appreciate everyone's cooperation. As I mentioned in the conference, the press conference a few minutes ago, I'm really asking for two things from our community. Number one is cooperation, and number two is prayers. Prayers for our community.
Thank you so much, man.
Okay.
We'll be in touch. Let's see if we can get Judge Howell before we wrap this up.
She was.
Judge Howell, can we get you quickly?
Oh goodness, I followed you.
You followed me?
Yeah.
Why'd you follow me?
How are you doing? I'm Bobby Howell.
Hey, I'm John Williams with 1039 Radio here in Texas. It's oldies country.
Radio.
MyPigRadio.com. But anyway, we've got Judge Bobby Howell, the county judge for Bowie County, and you signed a declaration today. Tell me what that does, what you did today.
It declares an emergency, much like the one that the governor signed last week, but it's particular to Bowie County. And I've been told it will open up more opportunities for our local businesses, for federal programs, for SBA loans and things like that. And it will also make our county and local cities and towns eligible for perhaps reimbursement for expenses they've incurred because of this.
All right. Now, I know also in there that if the situation got worse, now right now it's just one confirmed case, whatever, but if the situation got worse, like some of those other places in the country,
Like
it would,
Houston.
or some big city, it gives you the power to limit some things such as. Go ahead.
I don't want to go into at length, but when you declare a disaster in your county, the county judge has a lot of power to do a lot of things out of the ordinance. But it has to be approved by our commissioner court over the last 7 days. So if you're given a copy of it, kind of speaks for itself. And I modeled it after what Smith County, which is Tyler, and Gregg County, which is Longview. They've done the same thing because they had cases before we did. Longview has one confirmed case, and Tyler has
Quite a few.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, that's from what I've been told. That's what everybody's doing. And I'm serious about the fact I don't want to restrict business. You know, I'm all pro business. I'm pro independent thought and decision making. I don't believe in taking rights and freedoms away from our citizens. But if it gets to the point that either the outbreak gets out of hand, or we have some businesses or individuals that are not following the spirit of the guidelines, then I may step in. But so far that hadn't happened yet. But
Good.
All right. And lastly would be you guys getting together, both Texas and Arkansas. How you feel about that? Good thing? Talk about the
yeah,
cooperation. you're getting.
Absolutely. You know, from the get-go, we've had I called a meeting of our local, I call them interested parties, but the healthcare professionals and emergency responders, and before all this happened, before we had a local outbreak or case, and I was just pleasantly surprised by the response that everybody from both sides of the state line came together. School superintendents, Miller County, Cook County, Arkansas, Cook County, Texas, Blue County officials, everybody came together. The 2 hospitals, everybody worked well together here. They're all good neighbors. And so it only made sense for the 2 sides of the state line to get together in this time when we're all facing the same crisis. The Arkansas governor has handled it a little bit differently than the Texas governor, and our laws are a little bit different. But the crisis is the virus, and that's the same for both of us. So
Anything else you want to add? Tell people out there.
just tell them to keep following common sense, use the good hygiene, the social distancing, and be patient. And
This too will
trust-
pass.
That's it.
It'll eventually-
I won't go that far.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Yes, sir. There you have it. We have been at the Arctex Council of Governments for the big joint press conference with the joint committee, the emergency committee, and they're going to continue to update you. And that's we'll be having all this up on the website mypigradio.com. That'll tell you all the different information and places you need to go to find out what you need to know. And that's it from here. We'll see you on the radio.